This bucket list hike is one of the most famous treks in the world. The Inca Trail is a 4-day journey through the Andes Mountains that ends at one of the most iconic places on Earth, Machu Picchu. But what surprised us most about this trek is that Machu Picchu isn't the only incredible place you'll see along the way. All throughout the trail are ancient Inca sites that most visitors to Peru never experience, including one that honestly rivaled Machu Picchu itself without dealing with any of the crowds. Over the next 4 days, we'll show you what the Inca Trail is really like as we cross high mountain passes, hike through cloud forests, and follow the same paths the Inca once used to reach their sacred city. Most Inca Trail journeys begin in Cusco, where hikers are encouraged to spend at least a few days acclimatizing before starting the trek. For us, we were at the tail end of our 3 months in Peru, and this was the adventure we were most looking forward to. Because the Inca Trail passes through several protected archaeological sites, you can't hike it independently. Everyone must go with a licensed guide. After quite a bit of research, we chose Salcante Trekking, a Peruvian-owned company known for taking great care of their porters and keeping their groups small. The night before the start of this trail, everyone meets up for a quick briefing to go over the plan to make sure that you're fully prepared. That's where we met our guide Cesar and the 6 other hikers we'd be spending the next 4 days with. Then the next morning started early. Around 5 a.m. we left Cusco and made our way into the Sacred Valley, stopping for a quick breakfast before continuing on to the trailhead. And this is where things started to feel real. When we arrived, the porters were already hard at work, organizing gear, weighing bags, and preparing everything for the next 4 days on the trail. Watching it all come together was honestly incredible. While each of us would be carrying just a small day pack, the porters handle everything else, including all of the camping equipment and meals. And it's something we didn't fully appreciate until we saw it in person. Before setting off, there was just one more thing to figure out: our group name. Vamos a la playa, which translates to "let's go to the beach." Since Hawaii is home for us, Danny and I approved. From there, we checked in at the main entrance with our passports, passed through a small museum that gives a bit of context for what you're about to see, and made our way to the official trailhead. And just like that, after years of dreaming about it, we were finally standing at the start of the Inca Trail.
I am so freaking excited.
Almost immediately, you get a taste of what this adventure holds. We had barely crossed the bridge before seeing ancient Inca sites scattered along the river. Along the way, our guide Cesar started pointing out different plants and flowers that are still used today. The most interesting one? A parasite that grows on cacti. When you press it, it turns this deep red color, and it's actually used as a natural dye in Peruvian textiles. Day 1 of the Inca Trail is considered the quote-unquote easy day, and honestly, we were grateful for that because we knew what was coming.
All right, we're about 2 miles in. It's mostly been flat, and everything's feeling good so far. How are you doing?
Loving it so far. This is amazing. The views are incredible, as are the porters. We have so many guys who are passing us with, they said, 25 kilos, so it's about over 50 pounds on their backs carrying all the equipment.
As the trail started to climb, we made our first real stop of the day. This is the last place along the trail where you can buy snacks and drinks, and it's a bit of a gathering point for hikers before continuing on. Some people played games, some refueled, and for me and Danny, we befriended the sweetest little girl who just wanted to be spun around, reminding us that kids are kids everywhere. Otra vez, again and again. After a few last laughs and hugs, it was time to keep moving.
Man, look at that, Danny.
Oh, the waterfall down there?
Wow.
As we continued climbing, the trail began to open up, passing waterfalls, crossing streams, and slowly gaining elevation. And then we got our first real glimpse of one of the things that makes the Inca Trail so special: Yactapata, an ancient Inca site built into the mountainside, with agricultural terraces, ceremonial platforms, and stone structures dating back hundreds of years. Its name comes from Quechua, an indigenous Andean language, and translates to high city.
Man, I feel like we're learning a ton. We're just surrounded by mountains right now. Loving this. And this is day 1, and it's already awesome.
This was definitely just the beginning, and we couldn't even imagine what the rest of the trail would look like. After taking it all in, we continued down the path, making our way toward our spot for lunch. When it comes to hiking, lunch for us is usually pretty simple. I'm talking a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, maybe a granola bar if we're lucky, so we were not prepared for this. A full setup, tables, chairs, individual water bowls to wash our hands, and then the food started coming out. soup and garlic bread, which already would have been more than enough. But it didn't stop there. Vegetables, rice, meat, course after course, a full meal in the middle of the mountains.
What a wonderful lunch. Way more food than I think any of us were expecting.
It just kept coming and it was all delicious. So, feeling pretty well fed.
Trout, rice, pumpkin tortillas.
Those were amazing. Those were amazing.
And then to be capped off with a nice hot mint tea.
And now we're back on the trail and headed towards
Our camp.
And this is where the trail started to feel a bit different. The afternoon brought more elevation and longer stretches uphill, but it also gave us time to slow down, take in the surroundings, and start getting to know the people we'd be sharing this experience with. And at one point, we passed a sign marking that we were officially 1/3 of the way through the trail.
We have about an hour left on day 1, maybe hour and a half. They do say all times and distances are estimated, so we'll keep you posted.
And for the first time, we caught a glimpse of what was waiting for us tomorrow, Dead Woman's Pass, the highest point on the Inca Trail. But that would be for day 2. The final stretch of day 1 was all about putting one foot in front of the other.
All right, we are on our final ascension for day 1. There's multiple campsites that your guide can choose to take you to. We're going to the 3rd campsite that you can reach on day 1 of the 4-day hike to help better prepare us for the start of day 2.
Our home for the night was Sayaqmarka Camp, tucked into the mountains and already fully set up by the time we arrived. Each of us was given a sleeping bag with a number, the same one we'd use for the entire trek. And inside the tents, everything was ready. Sleeping pads, gear, all waiting for us.
We made it to camp. I feel like this was a really good first day.
Yeah.
Danny, what are the stats?
So roughly 8.69 miles, about 6 hours of hiking, and 3,061 feet elevation gain, and 991 feet elevation lost.
After settling in, we gathered for what quickly became one of our favorite parts of the day, happy hour. Out here, that meant popcorn, appetizers, and for our group, origami. And then, just like lunch, dinner was another full feast, shared around the table with good food and even better company. Day 1 was incredible, but with day 2 looming, the hardest day of the Inca Trail, we called it an early night.
Well, we had a great dinner, and now I think general consensus is it is time to knock out. We have a really early start tomorrow at 4:30, someone will be coming to shake our tent, and that is the signal that it is time to get up, get our stuff packed, and head over to breakfast. I can't even think about eating more food right now. They are keeping us super well fed, but for now, I'm just gonna grab some sleep. Good morning. It is about 4:30, I think, right now. They're starting to come around and knock on the tent and offering Coca tea, which we'll gladly accept because it's cold. Hola!
Gracias.
Gracias.
Once we packed up our gear, we joined the group for breakfast. Fruit, sandwiches, pancakes, and one more moment together before the hardest day of the trek.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
All right, we are stepping off for day 2. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And with that, we set off toward what we had been told would be the most physically challenging part of the entire Inca Trail. The hike began by winding through a lush forest, surrounded by greenery. Every so often the trees would open up just enough to reveal the peaks towering above us.
We've reached a pretty steep section here, which I think is going to be a lot of today as we make our way up the Dead Woman's Pass. But taking it step by step and enjoying this beautiful forest.
And then the landscape started to change.
Working our way up there. About almost 1,400 feet up from this morning. And just keeping a steady, even rhythm. Taking moments to really appreciate these gorgeous views, the sound of the running water. It seems like we're coming out of the jungle-y area and more into the more arid terrain.
You can see we're in a different microclimate now.
But it's beautiful.
We left the forest behind and found ourselves face to face with the climb ahead, Dead Woman's Pass, sitting at nearly 14,000 feet above sea level, making it the highest point of our hike to Machu Picchu, and what feels like a rite of passage. The climb is steep, steady, and never seems to end, and at this altitude, every step takes effort, so we took it one section at a time, stopping when we needed to, and encouraging each other along the way. Danny was one of the first to make it to the top.
So the first half of our group has made it to the top of the highest point for day 2. We're at, it's called Dead Woman's Pass. And it looks like we're all surviving. It's really great, right?
Kind of.
Deep, you are the man.
You're the man.
And I wasn't far behind.
Woo! Yes! We made it! We made it to the top of Dead Woman's Pass!
Yes, absolutely awesome. About 3,000 feet up, and it took us just under 3 hours to get here. Now we're gonna head down into the next valley to get our lunch, see a few sights before we have to hike back up to the next pass.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that in the distance there. That path going down and then up to the second pass. I think currently we're almost at 14,000 feet.
Close to it. I'm getting cold though because the sun is going away for a moment, so I'm gonna go get my bag and we're gonna get going.
All right, here we go.
Getting to the top was only half the challenge, because it turns out the old saying is true. What goes up must come down. And this was one heck of a descent. A long stretch of steep, uneven stone steps winding their way back down the mountain. And from here, the trail became a bit of a tale of two experiences. Danny decided to pick up the pace, jogging sections of the trail and finding a bit of quiet and space to take it all in.
In order to save my legs, and also to just enjoy the peace and quiet, because I haven't had a place to do this in a long time. I've just been doing a nice slow jog down the mountain, and it feels good to get out here and just kind of stretch my legs, let my lungs breathe. Obviously I have a little bit of the shaky leg going on, but at the same time, this has also just been quite a wonderfully meditative experience.
And with my much shorter legs, I took a different approach, making my way down one step at a time and honestly enjoying a bit of solo time out on the trail.
Still going down from Dead Woman's Pass, and it has been steep. However, it's also been super beautiful. These mountains are incredible. Absolutely loving this. And the sun is shining. It's nice and warm now. This has been a great morning, and we still have a lot of cool things to see today. I know we have some different sights, so it's going to be great. I'm actually really loving just this solo time on the trail as well.
And eventually we both made our way down, reuniting with the group at the bottom of the pass, just in time for lunch, and once again we were met with another incredible meal waiting for us.
Just had another big amazing lunch, and we're beginning our trek out of this camp and up to the next pass. So I think we've got some uphill from here.
Well, that turned out to be a bit of an understatement. Before we knew it, we were back on the stone steps, this time climbing our way up toward the second pass of the day. It was tough, but by this point we were starting to find a rhythm. And then, just when we needed it, the reward. Runkurukai, an ancient site known for its unique circular design perched right along the trail. Its name in Quechua actually translates to pile of ruins, and if that's the case, this is officially the most beautiful pile of ruins we've seen. It's believed to have served as a checkpoint, an observation point, or possibly something more ceremonial. When visiting the Inca sites, we gathered for what we started calling story time, moments where Caesar would bring these places to life, sharing the history, culture, and meaning behind what we were seeing. And at this point, this was easily the most impressive site we had seen so far. But what we didn't realize yet was that the day wasn't over and there was still more to come. From there, we had another long stretch of uphill as we made our way toward the second pass of the day. And as we climbed higher, we started to see Runkurukai from a completely different perspective, looking down on it from above, which made it even more incredible, even in our tired state.
It's just a nice gradual climb up steep stairs for, I don't know, we've been going for a while. Only about 830 feet since our lunch spot. Then we had that nice long break to learn a little bit more about the culture and the sites that we just saw. And now we are heading to the pass. So I'm hoping it's shortly up there. but we'll find out.
By this point, we were definitely feeling fatigued, but eventually we did in fact make it to the top, and with it another set of incredible views out over the Andes. We took a few moments to rest, have a couple of snacks, and get ready for our next descent.
I think that was probably the hardest part of the day, except it is now downhill, which is pretty tough on the knees, but I think we have about an hour and a half to our campsite, and all smiles.
It'll be good.
And here comes the sun.
And so once again, we made our way down. Like before, Danny decided to pick up the pace, trail running his way down to save his knees, while I stuck to a slower pace, hiking along with my friend Tosh from our group, taking it one step at a time. And all along the way, the views kept getting better, especially because they kept revealing more Inca sites, including the next one we were headed to, Sayaqmarka. What we didn't realize at the time is that Danny had already made it there ahead of us and was busy exploring.
This is insane. I mean, it is just too unreal. Look at that. So I'm just walking around now, exploring the different rooms that are here, different spaces, wondering what they could be. There's really no one here yet. And even at some of the other sites that we visited with our guide, it was just us and our guide there. This place is massive. I know Machu Picchu is going to be great in 2 days. That's what we see it, 2 days. But I don't know what's going to compare to this. Walking around an archaeological site with nobody here. Absolutely massive. Keep on looking out over there where the trail is, and I think I see Hardeep.
And he was right. Hardeep and the rest of us made our way up to Sayaqmarka, and we were just as blown away by it as Danny.
Oh my gosh. I think this is my favorite one yet.
Perched high along the mountainside, this place almost feels unreal. During story time, we learned that Sayaqmarka is known for its incredibly detailed design, with terraces, staircases, and narrow passageways weaving throughout the site. It's divided into different sections, including what's believed to be a ceremonial area and a more residential space, and likely served as a citadel dedicated to agriculture. Sayaqmarka in Quechua means inaccessible town, which makes a lot of sense after all the effort it took today to reach it. From Sayaqmarka, we could actually see where we'd be spending the night, which gave us just the motivation we needed to keep moving. So we made our way down the trail, passing even more Inca terraces along the way, and after a long day, we finally reached our campsite, feeling extremely accomplished.
Day 2, let's go! Woo!
Good job.
Day 2 stats, what do you got?
Okay, so today's trek was approximately 6.6 miles.
Okay.
That's 4,324 feet going uphill.
Oh my gosh.
I know, right? To not include the breaks, it took us about 6 hours. Downhill, we went down 3,608 feet.
So we went up over 4,000 feet and down over 3,000 feet?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot of elevation gain and descent.
I feel, very happy and accomplished right now.
End of day 2, we're going to do happy hour with some tea and probably some popcorn again. And then eventually we'll have a massive dinner, which we'll show you probably about right now. And then because we got in a bit earlier, we might have time to play some games or just sit and chat with friends. So we'll see you in the morning. The morning of day 3, I started off cold.
Chilly.
But by the end of the day, we're told we might end up in shorts.
So
It's going to get so hot.
I think as soon as the sun comes up, and obviously as soon as we get moving, we'll be doing pretty good. But yeah, right now it's pretty chilly, as you can tell. But we had a delicious breakfast. The porters have pretty much broken down camp already, which is incredible. They're going to start out here soon, and I think we're going to be right behind them. But I think it's going to be another great day. We're supposed to see some more Inca sites and everything too. So I think we're supposed to reach our campsite a little bit earlier in the day as well. So more of a break, and then tomorrow, Machu Picchu. So we're getting closer and closer, ready to get going.
3, 2, 1. Vamos a la playa!
The temperatures were low, but the vibes were high. We were especially excited for today because we had been told that this stretch of the trail included some of the most impressive Inca sites of the entire trek, and some of the best views. While most of today would be downhill, it didn't exactly start that way. The morning kicked off with a pretty steep uphill push.
How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing great. So that should have been the steepest part, and then it should just be gradually uphill until the next pass. So slow and steady, right?
Slow and steady. Although, I think Danny spoke too soon.
Just a little bit.
There was really no warm-up for today. It's kind of just right into it.
I think this is the warm-up.
This is our warm-up. We'll be ready for anything.
Just to get us warm, because
It is warming us up, that is true.
With the cold temps, a special shout out to Tosh for lending me a hand warmer to get me through it.
How are your hands doing? Doing better. It's helping me be able to film. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to film anything. I'm glad. This video was made possible by Tosh.
The trail continued with a few more ups and downs, and as the sun slowly started to rise, things began to warm up. One of the wildest parts about the Inca Trail is just how much the landscape changes along the way. Today we started noticing more wildlife too, especially birds, and as we made our way higher, we even spotted a few llamas along the trail. As we climbed, the views opened up even more, and then before we knew it, we reached Sayaqmarka Pass.
We've reached possibly the most beautiful view yet. It's absolutely amazing. This was, I think, the rest of the uphill for the day. I think it's all downhill from here. There's some ceremonial sites on the cliff here, and I know we're going to be seeing some sites as we go. So this is just too beautiful.
From the pass, it was a short but steep walk over to the Sayaqmarka site. Our guide Caesar said this was one of his favorite places along the entire trail, and once we arrived, we could easily see why. Not only is the site itself incredible, but from here you can see even more Inca sites scattered across the mountains. And just beyond the ridge in front of us sits the world wonder we had all come to see.
Down on the mountain.
Intipati, Machu Picchu Mountain,
And then on the other side.
Machu Picchu. Oh, this is cool. Every Inca site that we get to, I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite. This is amazing.
As we sat down for story time, Caesar shared more about Sayaqmarka, a name that comes from Quechua and means city above the clouds. This site is made up of terraces carved into the mountainside, stone enclosures, and a series of ritual baths. And what's incredible is that the water system still functions to this day. After learning about the site, we were invited to take part in a traditional Coca leaf ceremony. Each of us was given 3 leaves, representing the Andean Trinity, the condor symbolizing the heavens, the puma representing life here on earth, and the serpent connected to the world below. Holding the leaves in our hands, we were invited to set an intention and offer it to the mountains and to Pachamama, Mother Earth. It was a simple moment, but a powerful one for our group.
We are now starting our primary descent for the day. A lot of stairs, and they said in about 2 hours we'll end up hitting a fork in the road. I'll take it to the left, and we'll be coming upon our second Inca site for the day. This has been an absolutely fantastic tour, but as you can see, just heading down a bunch of stairs. So I'm gonna put the camera away for now and just try to be safe.
By this point on day 3, we had really found our rhythm on the trail. The sun was shining and we were feeling good.
We stopped for a quick snack as we're making our descent down, and it's hard to think that this morning we felt like we were having frostbite, and now, as you can see, we're stripping down, and I hate to admit it, but Danny was right. I shouldn't have worn my thermals underneath everything, but we're slowly making our way, and we can see the other Inca site in the distance.
Me, Tosh, and Deep felt like we were thriving. Danny, on the other hand, was doing his best to outrun a fly.
Oh, fly. Would you stop it? I'm trying to film here. These giant flies just...
while we may never know exactly what happened, by the time we arrived it looked like Danny had won, because we found him lounging in the grass like nothing ever happened, ready to explore our next Inca site, Inti Pata. This site is a massive complex of agricultural terraces carved into the mountainside, and once again, our group had it completely to ourselves. It's one of the steepest and most impressive terrace systems along the Inca Trail, and from here, you can really start to understand just how advanced Inca engineering was. The site served as a control point along the trail, offering a clear vantage over anyone traveling toward Machu Picchu, while also being used to cultivate crops like potatoes, corn, quinoa, and coca leaves. Its name comes from Quechua and means terrace of the sun, and standing there taking it all in, we were completely blown away by the scale and precision of it all. It was incredible, but believe it or not, the best was still yet to come. So we made our way down to camp, dropped off our bags, sat down for a quick lunch, and then set off for what would end up being the best afternoon of the entire experience. We followed a path near our campsite, which brought us to Winye Waina, and from the moment we arrived, it felt different. The name means forever young in Quechua, and it couldn't be more fitting. Set into the mountainside, this site is made up of beautifully preserved terraces, stone structures, fountains, and what's believed to have been both a ceremonial and agricultural center during the Inca Empire. It likely served as a place for religious activity while also supporting travelers along the Inca Trail, with crops grown right here on these steep slopes. We sat there for a while that afternoon, listening, learning, and just being. We were even joined by a dog who decided to hang out with us for story time. And in that moment, it really hit me. Tomorrow we would finally be seeing Machu Picchu, and I knew that would be incredible. But having this place all to ourselves, no crowds, no rush, just the quiet and the mountains around us, it felt just as special. And in my opinion, rivaled the world wonder itself. It was the perfect way to end day 3, and a memory I know I'll keep coming back to. We made our way back to camp just in time for one final dinner together, and to our surprise, it even came with a cake to celebrate the journey we had all just shared. After dinner, we spent some time getting to know the porters a bit better, hearing about their families, their lives, and the work they do day in and day out. It was one of those moments where you realize just how much goes on behind the scenes to make an experience like this possible, and how hard it is to fully express your gratitude for everything they've done. Tomorrow, we'd finally arrive at Machu Picchu, and with an early wake-up ahead of us, we were encouraged to get some rest, which we eventually did, but not before a few more laughs and games in the tent.
It's just before 3 in the morning on the final day of our Inca Trail trek, and they're coming around with the Coca tea to wake everyone up.
Hola, Coca.
Hola.
Gracias.
There's a reason why the day starts this early. Part of it is for the porters, who are already up, breaking down camp, and beginning their own journey back down the mountain in time to catch the train.
Gracias.
But for us, it's all about the checkpoint. Everyone on the trail has a ticket to enter, but there are only a limited number of seats available at the checkpoint where you enter the final stretch of the Inca Trail toward the Sun Gate, and that does not open until 5:30 in the morning. So by starting early, the hope is to beat the rush and grab a seat until we can begin today's hike. Thankfully, it's just a short walk from camp to the checkpoint, which does make this part of the morning a bit of a hurry up and wait scenario, but nothing could dull our excitement.
We arrived at the checkpoint, and thanks to Caesar, we have gotten a seat. There's only spots for about 50 people, and there'll be about 400 lining up to get in, so looks like we're in a really good spot.
The time passed relatively quickly, and with that, it was time to begin the final stretch to the Sun Gate.
We are
Tired and goofy and been sitting in line for the last 2 hours.
but it's time to go. We're going through the checkpoint. How's our group feeling? So good. So excited. All right.
It was a bit chaotic at the start. Everyone was eager to make their way toward the Sun Gate, but somehow I ended up in the very front, leading the charge. I've never considered myself a fast hiker, but apparently put a world wonder in front of me and I'll pick up the pace. Or maybe it's just the motivation of 400 people right behind you. Either way, we were moving. And somewhere along the way, the masses of people behind us faded, and somehow we found ourselves on the trail with just Danny, me, and Tosh.
We're not sure how, but we have somehow ended up on this part of the trail, at least by ourselves out of the 400 people that are hiking to the Sun Gate right now. This little stretch is just us, and it's beautiful.
And so far it's been mostly like they call it Inca flat, which just means very gentle rolling.
Ups and downs.
Yeah, but we're anticipating that there's going to be one steep uphill climb in order to get to the Sun Gate.
We think, oh my gosh, look at the mountains through the trees.
Oh, so beautiful.
For a while, it was just the three of us, hiking along, taking in the mountain views, and fueled by pure excitement for what was ahead. The trail itself felt surprisingly gentle, especially compared to everything else we had already done. At least it was, until we reached the final section.
This is probably the part that Cesar called Gringo Killer. But not today. Not today. Not today, Cesar. Not today. Ooh.
Our side of the first structure.
You can see it? Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
You see walls.
We can see walls. We'll take it.
Having survived the Gringo Killer, we made it to the final viewpoint before the Sun Gate, and at that point we knew we were close. Just a few more steps stood between us and the moment we had been waiting for, the first time we would see Machu Picchu. But like so many things in the mountains, nothing is guaranteed. Sometimes the view is clear, and sometimes it's completely covered in clouds. Either way, we kept going. We climbed the final steps up to the Sun Gate, also known as Inti Punku, the original entrance the Inca used to arrive at Machu Picchu after following this very trail. And when we got there, as Cesar would say, it was Cloud Gate. But instead of rushing off, he told us to wait, to trust that the clouds would move. So we found a spot, sat down, and took it all in, listening, learning, and waiting at a place that once held a deep spiritual significance for the Inca, a place connected to the sun, to ceremony, and the journey itself. And then, slowly, the clouds began to lift, revealing the world wonder we had spent 4 days hiking toward, Machu Picchu. From the Sun Gate, we began making our way down toward Machu Picchu. The trail was of course very beautiful with things to see along the way, but at this point all eyes were on what was waiting below. We made our way toward the classic viewpoint, that iconic postcard view, but Cesar led us just a bit higher to a quieter platform away from most of the crowds. After days on the trail, it was a bit of an adjustment, suddenly being back around so many people again. Tosh referred to it as the outside world, and at first it was a bit jarring. At the viewpoint, just like at the Sun Gate, the clouds were still moving through, and so we waited. And then, once again, they began to lift. And there we were, face to face with Machu Picchu. How do you even begin to describe something you've dreamed about your entire life? I tried in a message to send back home. I can't even talk. We made it, Mom. And it wasn't just me. The entire group stood there in awe, because after 4 days of hiking, of pushing ourselves, of everything it took to get there, it hit all at once.
We're all in tears over how beautiful this is. Oh, it was a great experience. Wouldn't have wanted to do it with anybody else other than this group. Yeah.
After seeing it from the viewpoint, it was finally time to go explore Machu Picchu itself. But for those arriving via the Inca Trail, there's one extra step first. You actually have to hike all the way down and exit the site before re-entering through the main gate. This is where you can drop your bags, regroup, and then come back in using your official ticket, which your tour company arranges ahead of time. And just like at the start of the trail, you'll need your passport along with your ticket to get in, so definitely make sure you have that on hand. What an incredible place to explore. Machu Picchu is one of those sites that almost doesn't feel real. A 15th century Inca citadel set high in the Andes, surrounded by mountains and cloud forest. And it's a place that still holds so much mystery. No one knows exactly why it was built, but what remains is a remarkable example of how the Inca were able to blend architecture, engineering, and nature so seamlessly together. Right now, there are 3 different circuits you can take through Machu Picchu, and our group had tickets for Circuit 3. As we made our way along, we explored the lower section of the site, walking through agricultural terraces, passing sacred fountains that still flow today, and visiting significant landmarks like the Temple of the Sun, where the Inca aligned their structures with the movement of the stars, and the royal tomb. Every turn revealed something new, another doorway, another staircase, another reminder of just how advanced this civilization was. It was a lot to take in a good way. Not just the history, but the energy of the place itself. But after days on the trail, surrounded by quiet and nature, suddenly being back among crowds again did also feel a little overwhelming. And while Machu Picchu is every bit as amazing as you imagine, there was something about the journey to get here. The solitude, the smaller sights, the moments along the way that made this experience feel even more special. After exploring Machu Picchu, we took the shuttle bus down to the town of Aguas Calientes, the small village tucked beneath the citadel where most Inca Trail journeys come to an end. We grabbed a late lunch, treated ourselves to a much-needed massage, and waited for our train back toward Cusco. And if there's one small piece of advice we'd share, it's this. Consider staying a night here. After 4 days on the trail, having a little more time to rest, explore the town, and avoid the rush of the afternoon trains would have made this experience even better. The Inca Trail is one of those rare experiences that truly lives up to the hype. Yes, Machu Picchu is every bit as incredible as you would imagine, but it's the journey to get there that makes it unforgettable. The quiet moments, the ancient sights along the way, the people you meet, it all builds to something so much bigger than just the destination. If you're thinking about doing the Inca Trail, go for it. It's a bucket list experience in every sense of the word, and one that in our opinion is not to be missed. And if you're planning your own trip to Peru, we've put together a full travel guide with over 200 things to do based on our 3 months exploring the country. The link is in the description below. And for more bucket list adventures from around the world, subscribe to see the next one.